Hey, it's Chris here today from Huckabones Equipment. We're going to talk a little bit about the L3901 and a few different options you can get with it, whether it's the transmission of a gear drive or a hydrostat, and a couple of different tire options that are now available for it. So we're going to start first by talking about just an overview of the 3901 package, and then kind of break away to the DT and then the hydrostat comparatively. So I hope you enjoy the video today, and yeah, we'll start from there. So we're going to start with an overview of the L3901 Kubota. They've been produced since about 2015. When they first came out, it was a brand new engine. You know, it had the DPF on it. It produces about 38 engine horsepower, which gives you about 33 on the PTO. Nice, simple, easy to use. Lots of horsepower there for the size. You know, once you get into the operator's platform, as I mentioned before, and I'll mention again on the L01 series, it comes with a nice little hump in the middle. Not a big deal in that case. Even though this was a brand new seat at the time, it could still use an upgrade. You know, it is about the only thing lacking on these tractors is your comfort level in the seat. For the price, the tractor is fantastic. Could use a seat upgrade. You know, with that, they did upgrade the panel on it. New, larger fuel tank. You know, you always get the standard toolbox, roll bar, cup holder. This is the first tractor in the Kubota lineup after you go through the BX's, B01 and LX. Where you actually have a clutch. So whenever you go to fire up an implement on the rear, you have to clutch for that, or even to start the tractor itself, you're going to clutch. And then whenever you are operating some implements on your 3-point hitch, it is pretty heavy duty for the size of it, for what size implements you can put on it. The one drawback is it doesn't have the extendable arms. They are an option that you can put on. And the last thing is you'll see these are the new R14 tires that are available. Look fantastic on the tractor, a little bit more money than your industrial or ag. The odd person does go turf in our area. We don't see it too often on the 3901s. But these R14s, they look pretty awesome, and they look like they're going to do a great job either in as a crossover between the industrial and turf. So yeah, so that's the end of the overview kind of idea. Now we're going to jump into a little bit of talk about the transmissions. So we have the hydrostat with us today, as well as the DT model, and yeah, we'll talk about each. So this is the L3901 DT. In Canada, there is only one tractor that is smaller that you can get, the B2401, that you can get in a gear drive. After that, the next size up is you can get the 3560 in a gear drive. Otherwise, I know down the States they have a little bit more options whenever it comes to the 01 series, what transmission they want. It has 8 forward, 8 reverse, which means it has 4 on the stick and then a high-low to choose between the gears. So you're going to have to clutch between your gears, as well as if you want to go forward reverse. It is not what they call a wet clutch. So it is what they call a dry clutch. You'll see a wet clutch whenever you get up to the 7060s, which means you don't have to clutch between forward reverse. Makes the operation a little bit smoother, but also adds a little bit more cost, which is why you won't see it on a 3901. So some of the applications you're going to use a gear drive on is if you're used to it. We'll see it, the odd person just doesn't want to get a hydrostat because it's not something they're familiar with. Outside of that, it's usually whenever you're doing long stretches of something. You know, they work fairly good whenever you're doing blowing snow. Where they really excel is if you're doing some farm work out in the field, where you're either tilling, where you can maintain that speed, or rotary cutting, or where they work best is whenever you're just mowing with a finishing mower, where you're just keeping that constant speed. So you can see kind of a familiar line there is whenever you're looking for something constant. That's where it delivers for you, is you can just set it and leave it kind of idea. Where it's not so good is if you have multiple users, younger users, unfamiliar people with a gear drive. They're either choosing the wrong gear, or you could run into where you're riding the clutch and your premature wear on your clutch itself. Also, it can get you into a little bit more dangerous situations if you're unfamiliar with the gear drive, where you're not really sure how to stop. Where hydrostat, you let off the pedal, it comes to a complete stop. gear drive, you have to put it in neutral and put the park brake on. One of the other pluses of the gear drive model is it is cheaper. It is about $1,500 to $1,800 cheaper than a hydrostat. So it gives you a little bit more bang for your buck that way. So that's kind of a little bit of overview of the transmissions and some of the pros and cons of the gear drive. Now we'll talk a little bit about the hydrostatic. So the hydrostatic transmission has 3 ranges to it: high, low, and medium. It's nice and simple and easy to operate. Like the smaller tractors, you'll see a hydrostatic transmission up to the Grand L, the 6060, and then after that it goes to a gear drive in the Kubota lineup. Here at Huckabones, we sell about 95–97% of our units under 70 horsepower are hydrostat. It's just not something we really come across too often, where the gear drive will be utilized to its full potential, and the hydrostats are just simpler. It's the easiest way to put it. They are a little bit more money, but make it a lot easier for the consumer, or easier for the average homeowner to really use their tractor to the full potential. You know, it works best whenever you're doing loader work, because it's infinite amount of speeds there, whether you want, and whenever you want to come to a complete stop very quickly, you're able to without having to think too much about how to do it. Just take your foot off the pedal and you come to a stop. One other thing too is if you need that constant speed, you can get the optional cruise control on a hydrostat. So you can get the optional cruise control with this the L3901 that will give you that constant speed that you desire whenever you are out mowing or blowing snow, if you need it. So yeah, so in general, you're going to see a lot more hydrostats out there. As we mentioned, they are a little bit more money, but they really hold their value in the long term. You know, if they start about $2,000 more, you know, if you get 10–15 years down the line, they're worth $3,000 to $5,000 more than a gear drive, just in the popularity alone as to what people are looking for. All 3901 tractors are loader capable, and you would mount an LA 525 onto it. Whether you get the quick attach or not is up to the consumer. We pretty much only bring in the skid steer quick attach now, as the pin on is kind of outdated, but it does save you $500 if you wanted to go that way. After that, the lift capacity of an L3901 is about 1,300 pounds with loaded tires, or a ballast box on the back. So nice bang for the buck for the size of the tractor. Okay, so that brings us to the end of our video today. I hope you enjoyed it on the overview of the 3901 and the pros and cons of the gear drive transmission or a hydrostatic transmission. Again, our experience here is that the hydrostatic transmission is the way to go, but for some applications, the gear drive will fit your needs. If you did enjoy our video, please like and subscribe, and if you have any comments, please leave them down below. Thank you.